The truth about El Dorado, myth or real. For centuries, one name has echoed through history, promising unthinkable riches: El Dorado, a lost city of gold buried deep in the heart of the Amazon. It was a legend that drove explorers to madness and often to their doom. But what if the story we all think we know is wrong? What if the desperate, frantic search for a golden city was all just one colossal, deadly misunderstanding? Today, we're uncovering the real story of El Dorado. And it doesn't start with a city, but with a man, a sacred ritual, and a legend that spiraled completely out of control. The legend of El Dorado is one of the most powerful stories ever told. It painted this irresistible picture of a shining metropolis with streets paved in gold and temples overflowing with treasure, hidden somewhere in the vast, unexplored jungles of South America. This image completely captivated Europe, sparking a gold fever that lasted for centuries. It became the ultimate prize, a symbol of endless wealth, just waiting for a brave or maybe foolish explorer to claim it. The legend was so powerful that people didn't treat it like a myth. They treated it like a real destination, a spot on the map that just hadn't been filled in yet. To find the truth, we need to rewind the clock way back before the first European ships ever arrived to the highlands of modern day Colombia. This was the home of the Muiska people, a civilization that had a deep reverence for gold. But for the Muisca, gold wasn't about money. It was sacred, a physical manifestation of the sun's power and a gift for their gods. The real story of El Dorado didn't start with a place, but with a person and a ritual. When a new chief or Zipa came to power, he would undergo an incredible coronation ceremony. Chroniclers described how the new leader would be covered in a sticky resin and then coated from head to toe in fine gold dust until he literally shimmered in the sun like a living statue. And this was El Dorado, the gilded one. He would be taken to the center of the sacred lake Guatavita on a raft, which was also loaded with gold and emeralds. As his people watched from the shore, he'd plunge into the lake, washing the gold from his body, while the other treasures were thrown into the depths as offerings. This wasn't about showing off wealth, it was a profound sacrifice to the gods. And we know this ceremony was real. In 1969, a stunning golden raft was found in a cave nearby. It's a perfect miniature sculpture of the ceremony, showing the chief on his raft surrounded by attendants. It's the most incredible piece of evidence we have, a perfect snapshot of the real El Dorado. So, how does a ritual about one golden man become a legend about an entire city of gold? Well, that's where the Spanish conquistadors come in. They arrived in the 16th century with an insatiable, single minded hunger for gold. When they met the Muisca and heard these stories of a golden man, their greedy imaginations went into overdrive. A man covered in gold was amazing, sure, but a city made of gold, that was irresistible. The wires got crossed almost immediately. Conquistadors like Gonzalo Jimenez de Quesada conquered the Muisca around 1537, stealing what they could find, but they refused to believe that was all there was. The story of the Golden Man morphed into the legend of a golden kingdom. The indigenous people, often tortured for information, quickly learned that the best way to get these ruthless invaders to leave was to tell them exactly what they wanted to hear. Oh, El Dorado, you just missed it. It's over the next mountain, deeper in the jungle, just keep going. This twisted legend fueled some of the most disastrous expeditions in history. Men like Gonzalo Pizarro and the famous English courtier Sir Walter Raleigh became completely obsessed. Pizarro's 1541 expedition into the Amazon was an absolute nightmare, ending in starvation, disease, and total failure. Sir Walter Raleigh led two expeditions, convinced he'd be the one to find the city. He came back with nothing but tall tales that, while popular in England, did him no favors and ultimately contributed to his execution. For centuries, this myth was so powerful it literally changed the maps of the world. Cartographers in Europe started drawing a massive, non existent lake, Lake Paraim, on maps of South America, with El Dorado often marked right on its shores. Thousands of lives were lost, both European and indigenous. Fortunes were squandered, all of it in the pursuit of a phantom. So, what happens when we swap the treasure maps for modern archaeology? Well, the evidence confirms the ritual but completely demolishes the myth of the city. Over the centuries, There were several attempts to drain Lake Guatavita to get the treasure. One attempt in 1580 actually lowered the water level quite a bit and revealed some gold artifacts, but it was nothing close to the hoard the Spanish imagined. Another try in 1912 also found a few gold objects, but the dream of a golden city sleeping at the bottom of the lake was shattered for good. Recent archaeological surveys around the lake itself tell the same story. Instead of finding the ruins of a major city, they've only found a handful of ceramic fragments. It suggests small scale rituals took place there, not massive city-wide celebrations. The final verdict: El Dorado was never a city of gold. It was a sacred ceremony completely lost in translation by greedy outsiders. In the end, the search for El Dorado was always doomed to fail, not because the explorers weren't determined, but because they were looking for completely the wrong thing. They were chasing a city made of gold, but the truth was a story about a man made of gold. The legend of El Dorado tells us far more about the limitless greed of the conquistadors than it does about the Muiska people. It's a powerful lesson in how easily history can be warped and how a single whisper of truth can be twisted into a deadly myth that drives people to the very ends of the earth. If you love digging into historical mysteries like this one, make sure you subscribe for more journeys into the past. If you're fascinated by history, mysteries, ancient civilizations, and the hidden secrets of our world, explore my channel. I share captivating short videos that uncover the past, reveal untold stories, and ignite your curiosity about the wonders of humanity.